Hey folks, here for a quick rundown of a build that I've been having a lot of fun with. It's the Auradin for Paladin for Diablo 4. I have a quick couple of changes I've made to it that I particularly like. I haven't quite got all of the pieces that I want and all of the aspects that I need for it to really be super powerful, but as it is, it's ridiculously powerful. And it pretty much finalizes my my dream of having a build where I don't have to do anything. And this is probably the pinnacle. The Aradin is based on the work of Griswold's Opus and Dawnfire, which create a screen wide aura that does damage to enemies, and that damage can get very high because the paladin has some insane multiplicative damage boosts in the paragon board. um, so I'll show it to you in action in a second here, but first I want to show you my changes. um, the first one is the mythics. um, Mythics are so easy to get in this season that I have like 9 of them. Um, so I use them. I might actually stop using them at some point, but I use them right now because they just give me the an easy path to critical hit of 100%. I think this particular build is at 80 something percent, 94%. So essentially 100%. So everything I hit is going to be crit. Um, but I don't know that Ring of Starless Skies is actually necessary. I might actually be able to put in a better legendary aspect to increase the damage, but I have a hard time unequipping mythics. I guess now that they're so easy, I should get over my prizing of them so much. But anyway, the two things that I've changed primarily on this Aradin is first, I add temerity. This will give me a shield. Essentially, temerity heals you, and when you heal from a hit, if you heal above 100%, it gives you shield. And pretty much it gives you shield equal to your health immediately. This makes you much more hardy, obviously, but um, it's constantly generating with this class because I'm constantly hitting whether I'm touching the keys or not. So essentially, it's a full time barrier. Unfortunately, because of the way I've built this character, until I start playing around with it more, I don't have the bonus aspect that gives me bonus damage for being within a barrier. But I think it's generally at this point because I have other aspects that are giving me more damage than I would have with that aspect. Um, but so so this is my survivability. My survivability jumps through the roof as soon as I step out of the town, as does my damage bonuses, because so many damage bonuses to the paladin are based off of armor and block, and uh, those don't change until you step out of the town. So like the damage of blessed shield, which is one of my changes, this will jump from 125,000 damage up into the millions. That during a combat it can get up to 80, 90 million. And that's not even the. This is mostly here just so that I can pretend like I'm doing something. If I ever get bored and feel like I need to click buttons to make things go faster, throwing this shield will kind of help. But most of my damage is coming from other parts of this build. So we have temerity, we have shield. The other big one is I've changed how the Auradin uses its wolf companions. So just quickly, in the Auradin build, you use Neo Ke, I guess it's pronounced, but you use Neo Ke to generate wolf companions. And in this case, so long as haven't taken damage in combat for 2 seconds, I generate 200 resources, and then those resources get turned into wolves. I think I can generate because since they're there for 8 seconds, I think I can generate up to uh, maybe 8 wolves when I'm going, and those 8 wolves are counted as companions. So it's an important distinction because down here, or it counts as a summons, I should say. But down here, you have the summons. Every 5 seconds, each summon will generate 100 resources, and it's what I do with those resources that kind of changes this class a little bit and gives it a bigger punch, because I channel it into lightning bolt. I can't remember what the Auradin channels that resource into, but in this case, the lightning bolts are actually quite powerful. With all of the multiplicative bonuses that the paladin has, those lightning bolts can hit into. I see them hit 500 million. I've seen them hit up to 10 billion before, and that becomes quite powerful, obviously. Um, so essentially, the lightning bolts are going to do a lot of uh, damage. Especially, the nice thing about these lightning bolts is that while they're really good in room clearing, they're also excellent for boss fights, because if you only have one target on the map, my 8 wolves are generating 8 lightning bolts every 5 seconds, and all 8 of those lightning bolts are dropping on the head of the one target, which is the boss. So even if I don't throw my shield, I can generally clear everything in tournament in tier 4 pretty easily. And I'll show you that it's not the hardest, not the best, but I'll go ahead and clear a pit 65, because this is it's a high enough tier that I can get good return on my time investment, and it's a low enough tier that I can blast through it. So let me just give you an example of what this does. I will try to avoid throwing my shield, so this will be entirely the passive damage that this class causes. This class also ramps up because of the way the Auradin build is created. He gets more powerful the more hits he does. There was a billion hit from the lightning. In the hordes, but for the fact that all of the events in the horde are far enough apart that they can't appear on the screen at the same time. That's the only reason you have to do anything in clearing out hordes, because this character can just stand there and take it. The only clicking pretty much you have to do is to choose your next bonus. Sorry, got a bit of a cold here. Go get them, wolves. The other nice thing about the Auradin with the wolves is that the wolves have the same aura that I do. So when they're off screen, they are doing still massive amounts of damage. So it actually extends this skill beyond the edge of the map. Belial. I always find it funny in these hits that almost invariably the run up to the boss is harder than the boss itself. Okay, so let me just go through the pieces once again. I have Griswold's Opus. Mostly, I mean, I got some lucky rolls on some of the stuff, but I don't think you really need all that much in the rolls to actually have this work properly. This guy could deal a little more damage, but from his aspect, but still. So the Opus, take a look at that. These boots are meh. I still need to change these at some point. Since the damage of a paladin spins off of armor, pretty much I try to get armor on everything. And he has maximum moves. I think his move speed is 291%, which is 9 off of maximum. And since the new crafting system allows you to just pick movement when you craft an item, it's just easy to put movement on boots and your necklace and call it a day. Although I actually took it off of this one. Oh, that's right. I'm getting movement from the mythics. Anyway, so temerity. Like I said, this is important for this function. If you look there, the barrier is almost my entire life pool, and it's immediate. I always generate fortify, I always generate barrier, and I always generate life. And if you come down here and look at this, at steady state outside of a town, plus shield does 40 million. Quite a big jump from the 125,000 that it shows you would do in town. And condemn. These are actually kind of necessary in the larger boss fights because all of these disciple skills will trigger your arbiter effect, which boosts your damage even more. Which is where I get into those 10 billion lightning strikes. But yeah, that's it. I did that whole tier 65 without touching any buttons. All I did was walk around. And I think that pretty much is what I've been looking for all these years. Thorns never quite did it, but this one did. Hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you later.